Oh, anyway, so as Highguard shuts down, the ex-dev comes out to show regret for his handling of criticism.
You know, I'm again, my problem with this whole game, like I actually feel bad for these people except for the way that they handled it. They were super proud of themselves. They were full of hubris, and that was their
Well,
downfall.
until they needed to blame somebody.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Then it
When
was
you're down
everybody
and
else's
everybody's
fault.
laughing at you and stuff, you probably lash out, but that's not what adults do. And you messed up. You did. You screwed up. And him saying that, let's see. Since I reactivated my account, I'll address the elephant in the room. My now deleted tweet following the Highguard layoff news a month ago was a mistake. I was stressed, devastated, angry, and running on 2 hours of sleep. Then maybe you shouldn't do that like an adult. It was not wise to take my pain to the internet in that volatile state. I stand by the intent behind much of what I said, but I phrased it poorly. See, this is where you're losing some of that sympathy, dude. I'm trying to be on your side. I want to at least feel bad for you. I believe the online discourse around Highguard had some very dark corners that shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Stop it.
Some
Stop it.
very dark
Stop
corners.
blaming the dark net or the shutosphere or anything else. Just say it didn't resonate with the users. We're very sorry. We tried. We'll try again and we'll rise from the ashes like the phoenix. Just say that. Do not do all of this stuff. This kind of I'm sorry you took it that way kind of stuff. But let's see, it had some very dark corners that may have accelerated the timeline of our failure beyond the natural outcome of reasonable critique, but it wasn't the primary cause. Okay, and I don't know what that says because your head is in the way, your
I
giant,
don't
giant
personally
face.
believe the ultimate outcome would have been thoroughly different without it. There were a lot of elements involved. There was no way to know if it would have gone under different circumstances. No. We called it. Like we knew exactly how it was going to happen. So much that we called it ahead of time, and then we watched it happen. Like
Yeah,
this is how much we knew as gamers. This the people not in the know knew what was going to happen, and how clueless you, the developer, are, who was right there on the ground and should have saw it happening. Anyway,
yeah.
uh, let's see. I restored my Twitter account a few days ago before the 1 month no recovered data because I value the connections I made on here. I'll be keeping replies locked to accounts I follow for the time being. Anyway, so apparently he also like deleted his Twitter again.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, look, I understand feeling bad that your game bombed and everybody on the internet laughed at you about it. Like it sucks like if you tried your hardest and everything fell apart. Also, you shouldn't be a douche nozzle to other people who didn't do anything to you. You attacked everybody. You claimed these
I mean,
people were the worst sort of humans in the world and it's basically your failure. Maybe they weren't nice to you, but they don't owe you that. They don't know you, dude. Um
there was like 15 things they could have done to avoid this
yeah.
entire scenario, though.
Alpha, a beta,
I mean, and
a
those were
server
the
slam,
just to start with was an alpha and or a beta.
and a server slam because apparently that was a thing too.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done that during a beta weekend, but still,
Yeah.
it's like have a stress test weekend.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, if you would have just had those two things, or at least one of them, like just a beta somewhere along the way, you could have avoided a lot of this because then people could have told you, hey, this isn't good, this sucks, maybe you should change this. But then again, I have a feeling they would have lashed out the exact same way,
Yeah.
regardless. Like, you can sit here and tell me that, you wouldn't know it could have been different if we had done things different. Listen, you could have had a beta. People would have told you X, Y, and Z sucks. It needs to be fixed. And you would tell us we don't know what we're talking about.
Mhm.
That's how that would have went.
Yeah.
Like they all have been doing over the past few years.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen? Your game's going to fail because nobody's going to come play the unfun game because you refuse to make it fun. because you
Yeah.
have some grander scope or whatever it is that you
This
think
is
is better than just plain old fun. And then something like Marvel Rival comes out and it's just fun to be fun and it
yeah, I
smacks you
mean,
into the ground.
yeah, this is kind of like when I was talking about, people who hold up their virtue flags.
Yeah.
Just to keep holding up a virtue flag. Well, these guys were holding up their flags, but they were holding them up at each other and saying, "Our game is good." And we're like, "Our game is good. Our game is good. Yes, but did I tell you that our game is good? Oh, by the way, my game is good." So they didn't really want to hear it. They didn't want to think anything quote unquote negative. And I'm like, sometimes criticism is good. Like there are times where it goes over and above. Sometimes people just crap on things just to crap on them. I understand that. There actually is a sort of glee in that as well, and
Yeah.
it's a darker part of the human psyche. I get it, but we should all fight against our demons, blah blah blah, whatever. But you guys needed to, and the thing is that how toxically positive it was just because of the fact that he reacted so badly. It was just like getting sideswiped by a train. He was
Oh
not
yeah.
prepared for
It's
that.
like they were not expecting that.
They weren't.
People came in and was like, this sucks. It takes too long to do this. 3v3 on these maps are not good. Why are you breaking boulders and mining in a first person shooter and all this other stuff? And they were just like, the fuck? Oh,
Yeah. They're
why
like,
are
"But
you
our game is
complaining?
good. Don't you
We've
see
got
my flag?
lightning in a bottle.
Our game is good." So, yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
just you
then
just
they
don't
came out, they're
understand.
like, everyone who played the game before we launched absolutely loved
I'm
it.
like, "You mean
And it's
people who
like,
worked for you?"
okay, great. You had internal testing with your team and they loved the game they made because they made it for themselves. But if you wanted other people to play it, you probably should have thought of what, the general populace wanted
Mhm.
out of it before you launched it. Because if they're not playing it, guess what? You launched a dead game.
Yeah.
And now you're closing up studios as of last night or yesterday. You closed up shop and you're not going to reopen.
Yeah. I honestly think that this is kind of how, Marathon avoided becoming Concord 3. Well, yeah, Concord 3 because it's before 1348. But, because now 1348 is Concord 3, and it's hilarious. But, yeah, I still don't think Marathon's gonna be Concord. I think it's going to be more like, Shadows.
Destiny.
I think I put something in on Concord there.
I think it's going to be more like Destiny too at this point. Um,
No, because Destiny 2 took a long time to die, and it's actually like they killed it.
well, yeah. I mean,
Like,
aside from the fact that they're
if they had
doing
stopped
similar
releasing new
things,
content, it would have done better. It's
listen, they're
actually.
doing the same microtransactions in Marathon that they did try to pull off in Destiny.
Oh, that's
Like,
great.
who in their right mind goes, look, I know when we introduced these shaders and stuff and made them like one per use, everybody absolutely hated it. But that was like 5 years ago. They're not going to remember, right? So let's do it again with these stickers and
With
decals. Nobody's going
feeling.
to know. And it's like, what do you mean I unlocked a digital skull sticker and I can only put it on one fucking gun? Are you kidding me? It's a digital thing. Why can't I not put it on my entire every loadout? I can do that in Halo. In Halo, I can unlock it's just like, really, guys? You really thought
I
you were going to do it again?
And the thing about that is that, like, I don't think that I would like, I'm not sure what the logic is in that world, but from what I understand, if you go into a match with a gun and get raffle stomped, and you die, you don't have that gun anymore. So let's say that you spent time and money on a cosmetic and you died in the match. Well, is your gun now gone along with the cosmetic that you just spent money on?
I don't know, but we'll get to that later, I guess.
Well, I
Right
didn't
now,
put
let's.
anything on about that because I didn't think about it.
Yeah, we started to pivot into it. It's like the last thing on the agenda is marathon up here.
Oh, well, I was just comparing as to why marathon
I know,
actually
I know, I
seems
know,
to
but I
not be
was starting to
completely.
go off on marathon for a second, or I started to, and I was like, hold up, we got to hold.
Wait, guys, we actually do kind of have a structure to the show.
Yeah, we do a little bit of a structure.